Welcome everyone. My name is Neda and I am the current Auckland Institute of Studies librarian. So this our short presentation will be an introduction to the Auckland Institute of Studies and some innovations in our services and management practices in supporting our staff and students and provision of library services during the COVID-19 alert level 3 and 4 lockdown period during the pandemic here in New Zealand. So many greetings from New Zealand, and here on the screen you can see a welcoming page from our institute. It is a 30-year-old institute and one of the largest independent tertiary institutions. The institute also provides an MBA master's degree program, and there will be a couple of more master's programs for at the institute in the by the end of this year and the next year. The focus of the institute is face-to-face group work, project-based, very practical, hands-on, problem-based learning, industry internship placements, and professional experience, helping students and graduates ease into their career paths and employment here in New Zealand or overseas back in their home countries. Most of our students are international students. We have about 1,000 full-time students in the institute per year, and also they come from 40 different countries as well. So it's quite wide range, international, culturally mixed, and quite diverse and dynamic population here at our camp. Of course, the pandemic has impacted us quite heavily, as well as most institutes and libraries around the world. Our library is very small. Students have called it a small library with big heart, meaning that we do provide a welcoming space for study. Our services and librarians provide expertise and full-on support to students in their research, learning needs, and accessing information and knowledge. We're a small team of 3 library assistants and IS librarian, which is myself. We do serve also a community of about 1,000 full-time staff at the institute, including teaching faculty, and we do provide quite tiny collection of about 14,500 physical items, and of course electronic resources, ebooks, databases, journals, pieces as well. And we also provide study space, such as separate study areas for group and individual work for our students. The library is at the moment in the process of quite rapid transformation into a learning hub service, and part of this presentation will be interviews with my colleagues, students, and the Learning Hub manager. After announcing a full level 4 alert lockdown, where our campus and the library completely closed about 5 weeks ago, we had only 1 week provided by our leadership team to prepare and change our services from primarily being face-to-face classroom and on campus to distance learning, online learning and teaching delivery, as well as provision of online and distance library service to our students. Most of our students have already arrived here in New Zealand. There was a small portion of them who stayed overseas in their home country due to the border lockdown as well. Well, being primarily face-to-face and on-campus service, we had to shift rapidly and efficiently in the state of urgency and emergency to changing our modus of service provision to completely different one in a very short period of time. So creativity, efficiency, adaptability, really rapid online design of web services and learning environment, and of course online resource provision to our students was priority. As a result, new services, practices, and communication channels emerged, as well as new ways of providing support online to our staff and students, especially in a work from home environment that basically resulted in informality, innovation, continuity, but also a great sense of collaboration. So I can say it was a team effort, not just the library. Library is one small part of the big team collaboration of all Auckland Institute of Studies staff, and I can say students as well, who really helped us in this process through their suggestions, really intensive collaboration and communication with us as well, which resulted that we don't really see each other as a team, but actually as Auckland Institute of Studies family that included both staff and students at the same time and our postgraduates. So, what were some of the practices that we applied in the last 5 weeks that normally would not be our high priority in our regular daily service provision? Rapid design of online resources through the learning management system, Moodle. So basically providing library resources directly through Moodle and library public website. So development of both resources really quickly to include access to materials that are usually accessible on campus. Also, development of the staff room in Moodle, like virtual staff room, where teaching staff can log in and access and obtain teaching and education technology, learning and development support from our team and Learning Hub team overall, as well as provision and development of study skills resources in Moodle online and also Microsoft Teams, which was our chosen technology platform for online learning delivery, but also ensuring and opening access to additional research-based electronic databases that normally we don't have access to, but using a 3-month open access trial period during the pandemic that database vendors have enabled us really was a huge help for our students and staff during this period where the access to physical collection was basically unavailable to them at campus. Also providing online EdTech training webinars to our staff through Zoom and MS Teams was part of the collaborative team effort. So technical support, training support on how to use new technologies for most teaching staff. This was really a new way of teaching, and many of our colleagues have never had such experience before. So they had to learn really quickly to adapt to it and prepare their online teaching classes to deliver seamlessly and with a very good structure, time management, and also technology management too. We have had to redesign our regular face-to-face academic and information literacy workshops to online workshops that we delivered live through MS Teams online tutorials and sessions, and make them hands-on as well and interactive and practical to our students. Also delivering the orientation presentations to new students at the start of semester 2, which is now in May. So we, instead of having on-campus orientation day, that day actually happened online, and which we actually had to offer in a completely different format. Also, we focused on providing pastoral care to our students who were alone in their dormitories at their homestays, away from their families, and not being able to learn as much about organizing their life in New Zealand and organizing their studies here upon their arrival due to the lockdown period. So that resulted in regular daily online networking catch-ups open to all IS students, where they could come in and engage with us, the librarian and the study skills advisor, as well as their tutors and lecturers, in an informal way to ask any questions, discuss any challenges, and get to know us and get to know each other and network. And we basically work together as a team to create and foster a community of learners in an online environment, and I believe we have really succeeded in doing that, and you will see some interesting testimonies and video recordings of our students. There are some longitudinal impacts and outcomes of this process, and I can say that this resulted in long-term priority shifting towards distance learning delivery and e-learning pedagogy, rapid development and delivery of online tutorials, and webinars and staff training webinars, establishment of ongoing virtual video conference library reference service, and basically video conferencing with our students instead of library chatbot or email contact, but then basically shifting towards pastoral care, a nurturing community of learners online, as well as delivering our resources and services online. That resulted in developing relationship with our patrons, both staff and students, in far more informal but far more intensive and ongoing, regular, continuous way to be able to support them. And so our relationship now is much stronger, and we actually get far more interaction with them, whether in the form of queries, of a request for support and help in completing their work and finding their resources and completing their assignments or exams. We provided services to the offshore students who ended up being locked in their own countries, not being able to fly over and join us in New Zealand, which they were planning to. But still, they decided to go on, continue with their studies. And so those students were especially our focus in order to help them start their studies without being able to be in New Zealand at the time of the lockdown. And we expect them to join us in the months to come. So these are really good benefits. But the ultimate outcome was that our recent and current graduates, we see them enrolling into further additional study programs at Institute here in the upcoming semester and also for the next year. So they really feel comfortable working with us and studying here at the Institute. And despite the pandemic experience, they felt very inspired to continue with us and complete additional study programs. So that is something that we're really happy and proud of. As part of this presentation, I would like to introduce you to our Learning Hub manager, Lee, who is overseeing at the moment transformation of our library space into the new Learning Hub space at Auckland Institute of Studies. So we have started this process at the beginning of this year, and of course COVID-19 situation has interrupted that and changed radically the way our approach to the way we work and provide the Learning Hub support to staff and students. So Lee, welcome, and thank you for being part of this presentation as well.
Thank you very much for asking me to come along and talk to everybody about how COVID-19 has impacted, affected, changed, improved maybe even our services to teaching and learning. So the Learning Hub was a new development for Auckland Institute of Studies, starting in January this year, bringing together the study skills advisor, the e-learning and the library all together in one place. So the staff, the academic staff, the researching staff and the students can all confine their support for teaching and learning in one place. So we were well on way to developing that and making this space a really humming space. And then COVID-19 has, I would say, the first impact, it's just slowed the transformation. We're not going to put off this transformation because we believe in the goal. It's just slowed the achievement of the goal. So we will achieve it maybe at the end of this year rather than June, July. In terms of our service, it hasn't affected what we do. We provide support in learning and teaching. So we still provide support, we just provide support differently. And that's what I think that a lot of institutes across the world have done, that they've realized that it's still the same old teaching and learning, just doing it differently. Auckland Institute of Studies was that our leadership team gave us time and space to prepare for what we call emergency remote teaching and learning. We don't operate in online learning. We use a learning management system, Moodle, but we are a face-to-face teaching and learning space. The leadership team allowed the academic staff, the administration staff, and everybody else within the school time. We had a week and a half, and that gave the academic staff time to come together and learn the tools, support each other, practice the tools, redesign their delivery of content, reevaluate the assessment that they're going to have to do. It actually allowed us time to change final assessment. COVID is bigger than our teaching and our learning and our jobs. Yeah, we have a lot of international students whose family and friends are not with them, so they are alone. So the staff, the teaching staff, the administration staff are their support systems. And it's not just the stresses of teaching and learning that are affecting students and people's behaviour.
Thank you, Lee, so much. Okay.
No problem, thank you.
Cheers.
All the work that you figured out was wonderful, Neda. I am really grateful to be part of this, to be part of this big family, what we said before. And I think that even the pandemic situation, we are in the best school of New Zealand, in the best time and in the correct moment. And I'm really lovely. I'm really grateful to be part of this.
Thank you, Juan Pablo. So what was the most difficult thing for you overall in the last, say, 4 weeks of the lockdown period we have experienced on level 4 alert in New Zealand? Because you're new to New Zealand as well, as I understand as well. You come from Chile. So, apart from, and your family is here with you as well. So, and you had to continue your studies in a different way than you ever expected, probably when you came right here. So, so what was one of the most challenging things for you?
I think that I didn't have so many problems, and I was really lucky because with this problem that is huge, you can figure out all the situation to stay every day in contact. So it was wonderful because in the normal situation we can't stay with all of you every day.
Yeah.
But in this situation, we can stay in contact. It was really wonderful, and I'm really grateful about that for all your work. It was.
Yeah, we have felt in online classes that there was a great need for students to communicate with each other and so continue conversation, because simply we're all isolated in our own spaces at home doing our work or teaching or learning and engaging. But the problem was each session time was quite limited to teaching time, right? So we had to sort of stop students and say, okay, we're going to end this session now. Your next class starts in 5 minutes.
When the lockdown started, I just a little bit worried about how to study online. It's not so easy. It's confusing. It's not the quality could be not so good. But finally, it's no. Everything it was perfect, and even like Pam support us, and then she explained, and the Tanya sending the different kind of homework, pushing us. We're doing every day. Well, was busy. That's why we not feel like it. Even for my side, for me, even I cannot see how these 4 weeks is left. It's so big.
Yeah,
But I'm so busy studying. So, and you guys, and then just we are talk once a day, just talking, conversation. So, Especially thank you for my friend Juan Pablo, which organized this kind of thing and just, join us. And then, yeah, it's a perfect idea. And I think all the time the Juan Pablo is critical thinking and generating idea. He is that kind of person.
Okay, so I hope now you understand really the way the library also has been part of the holistic provision of support to students and staff during the COVID-19 pandemic here in New Zealand, as also being part of the Learning Hub overall environment and service. So I would like to thank you for opportunity for this presentation. I hope it was interesting and gave you some insight into Auckland Institute of Studies, and we do look forward to welcoming you perhaps as our colleagues or students or researchers in future months and years to come. And thank you so much. Bye-bye.